Y'all know getting sponsors is a huge ordeal, and it's something that is really a skill set for pageant women, and state pageants love it. If you know how to nurture relationships and get content and how to keep your sponsors happy, that is really, really valuable to a pageant system because they know they can entrust you that you're going to be the spokesperson for them year round. So I'm going to give you an actual strategy that you can implement immediately. And I'm going to share with you the graphic that you can use and edit it and make it all your own. Okay. I want to showcase for you this strategy that has worked for many of my clients to not only promote the sponsors that they are working with, but also to get new sponsors. How many of you would love to have a few new sponsors? Right? Who wouldn't? Wouldn't we all love more sponsorship, right? That is so good. Okay, so wouldn't it be cool if you could create a system where you are drawing in potential sponsors just by promoting those you've already worked with? Now, this strategy is for the type of gal who is really into, like me, rinse and repeat, okay? So this is in Instagram specifically, but it also works on Facebook. This is for your stories. So what do I post on my stories? And if you are like Jenny probably is right now, I am this way too. I got a baby in my arms all the time. And so I'm not trying to do stories all the time because I'm tired and I look tired. And inevitably, as soon as you turn on the camera, the baby wakes up and starts crying. So it's like, every time I start doing that. So what can we do to simplify this, to constantly be having a story out there and available that's doing the thing the pageant wants you to do? Well, here is how. There's a concept called a story sandwich. A story sandwich is when you have layers of an Instagram story that would be able to showcase a bigger story, but it's through graphics. Okay. So when a lot of times when we think about a story, we think about somebody that comes on camera and they're like, hey guys, good morning. I just woke up. I'm making my coffee. Okay. Then, an hour and a half later, they're like, I just got back from such a great run and now I'm going to go do this thing. And then, 3 hours later, they're like, help me choose my dress for tonight or whatever. Okay. These Instagram influencers have teams of people that are helping them do this kind of stuff. Okay. Most pageant women, we don't have tons and tons of team. Okay. You could get them. That's something that I recommend, especially when you go to the national level. But at this level, you don't need to hire a whole team. Instead, we got to get smart. Okay. So here's what I created for you. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to explain the strategy for this. So when you are looking for a new sponsor, the first thing that the sponsor is going to think is, well, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? You're coming up to them and you're like, would you sponsor me in my pageant? And they're like, that's cute. You're doing a pageant, but what's in it for me? When we tell them what's in it for them, anytime, by the way, side note, anytime you're creating a sponsorship package, you got to think about what's in it for them. That is absolutely 100% key. It's not like them. And by the way, the program book mention isn't helpful for them. Okay. Most people don't care. They could take out an ad at the same price they're going to be sponsoring you in their own local newspaper and reach way more people than the program book could reach. That program book thing is an add-on. It's a benefit. It's an extra special thing. But what's really valuable is what is in it for them that you can offer. Okay. So one of the things that is so hot right now, and this is why your pageant system and most pageant systems are wanting to do this, is when you give gratitude to your sponsors. A huge, huge, huge faux pas, if you will, is when a pageant woman does not thank her sponsors. It happens a lot with teenagers because they don't say thanks for most of the things you give them. Many of you who have teenagers, you might be aware of this. Thanks, Charlene. What is she showing us? Wait, what is there? What is that, Charlene? signature
Those
cards?
are all thank you cards that I send out. Like I buy them from Amazon in bulk, and it's super cheap and it takes a long time, but it's worth it. This is how I've kept all my sponsors. I have sponsors who have sponsored me for 10 years.
I love that.
Just because of those and just
That
because
is
of
so
posting.
beautiful. That is so, so beautiful. And it matters. It really does matter. People want to sponsor people when they feel like they are being championed for it. And when they feel like they're given that little like, oh, why, thank you. So here's the strategy. That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that too, Charlene. So here's the strategy that we can, and while I'm thinking of this, I have a podcast for you called The Anatomy of a Proper Thank You. I'm going to put it in the chat here for you girls that are watching live so you can go straight to it if this is something that you are interested in doing. It basically just gives you a like, what am I supposed to put in these thank you notes, let me put that in the chat right here for y'all. So everyone in meeting, cool. It's episode 15. So winapageant.com/15. And I put the direct link in there for you as well. Thank you cards are brilliant. So this strategy is sort of like that, but over and over and over and over and over, and in your Instagram stories. Okay. So let me show you what this can look like. Let me screen share this and show you what I've created for you here. So who uses Canva? Does anybody use Canva already? Okay. So I built this in Canva because it is so, so easy to use. And I think you will love it. All right. So this, what you're seeing right now is a template that is sized for Instagram stories. And in here, I have, for those of you who have already used Canva in the past, you'll probably recognize this like green hills with the blue sky and the cloud. This is a placeholder for an image. And so you can pop an image in here and in here in this bottom and share it out. So what I'm giving to you here is this graphic that you can change. And I'm going to show you, I have a bunch of different options for you as well. I'm going to show you how you can use this. So then what you would do is you would have your sponsor and you'd pop your sponsor. Let's say I've got Meredith in here somewhere, Meredith Boyd. Let's say Meredith Boyd is sponsoring you for hair and makeup, and you've got a photo of Meredith. You're going to pop it in here and you're going to be like, thank you so much, Meredith. You put your photo down here somewhere and bam, bam. Okay, let's do something like this. Oops, I don't want to mess up your thing. So you can put your photo down here, and now you've got an awesome graphic that you can post on Instagram and tag your sponsor, and it looks beautiful. Now, let's say you've got another one. Just click this duplicate page, and I'll stick the next one in here. Now, the key to this is, number one, you always have to tag your sponsor. Not tagging your sponsor is like not thanking your sponsor. Okay. So you're going to tag your sponsor. Now, you cannot just post this one time. You have to post it, I would say, about the 5 to 8 weeks before your pageant. I would start posting this every single day. So you're going to save these, you're going to make these graphics, and it's going to take you less than an hour probably. And then you're going to start putting them on your you're going to save them to your phone. So text message them to yourself or something, save them to your phone. And then every single day you've got an alarm that's going to go off on your phone, and you're like, oh, time to do my things. And every single day at 9 a.m. or whatever, you're going to post these things and tag your people. Okay. Now, what's cool is that at first, for the first 2 to 3 times, they're probably not even going to notice that you're doing, they didn't see it. They just didn't go to their Instagram, and it was 24 hours later, and then they didn't see your post. So then they just saw so-and-so tagged you in a post, but they are like, oh, bummer. I wish I would have known what that post was. Well, oh, well, whatever. But then a day later, they're going to see so-and-so tagged you in a post. And now pretty soon they're going to be like, what is she tagging me in? Now they're going to start following. They're going to see it. At some point, they're going to see it, and they are going to share it out. Because when you tag somebody else in your post, they share it out to their people. Okay. So now let me give you an example of this. Here is an example of one using the same background. But this time I have a little image in here. This is just a stock photo. And here I have Autumn Glow Studio. Okay. This is Autumn Spray Tan Studio. This is just a screenshot that I found from her. I think this was from her Facebook page of her logo. Okay. I would recommend that you ask your actual sponsors for a logo so that you could promote them on social media, because then they'll be like, oh, okay. And then they'll get you a good one that they would love to have be used. If you're going to be using a logo, so that you're not pulling one off the internet that doesn't look perfect. Okay. So if Autumn is your sponsor, you could include something like this and then a little message. Thank you so much. You could even change these messages so that it's a little bit different for each person. So it doesn't just feel like you copied and pasted it everywhere. Okay. Now some of you are going to be like, that's cute, but I don't like this background. Well, you can change the background to be anything you want. Okay. If you click up here in this purple corner right here, you can choose any color under the sun. Okay. You could use your own branding colors. You could use something that's from the logo. You can use whatever you want. All right. So that's changing the background. Of course, you can click in here and update the text and turn it into whatever you want to turn it into. Okay. You can change the name here. You could change the greeting, like aloha, whatever you want to do there. All right. Now, here's an example of me using the same image I have inside of this circle as the background image. Okay. This is an option. This is, again, something that you can do inside of Canva. And then I used this button let me see if I can grab it up here in the top right-hand corner that says transparency. And I just made it very light so that it wasn't this dark. I thought this looked a little too crowded. So I just lightened it up a little bit right like this. Okay. And then I did similar thing down here with using a photo in this photo in the background. So maybe you have a photo of yourself doing the activity that you're doing. You could put that in the background here. Okay. So I gave you several examples. I would love to see you do this forever. Here's an action shot. Okay. Imagine you have an action shot of you with the actual getting spray tanned, and then here's her logo is in the background. Okay. This one is for your family. It would be lovely to do one for your family. I'm sure that they are like doing so much, bending over backwards and helping you. Okay. This is an area that you could thank them as well. So this one is just of like, imagine you take a photo of this Zoom call right now. You could put a real actual photo inside of this as well. Okay. Thanks so much, Alycia, for this great Zoom that you did on social media. Tag it. And what will happen is that, first of all, you will notice that those sponsors will re-tag it or reshare it out. So your message is now going to continue to grow, which is awesome because people love who's following who, right? So it's going to share that out. Here's one that I made that you could edit with my logo in it if you want to do one with my logo. So I'm going to put this right now into the chat for you all. I'll have to put it in the replay somewhere. This is going to do is going to, it's only going to allow you to view this copy. You're not gonna be able to edit, because if we were all editing this, it would be a disaster zone. Okay. So that's not okay. But what you can do is you're going to go up here to file and you're going to go down here to make a copy. And when you make a copy, it's going to open up a whole new thing that says copy of the USOA contestant sponsor stories template. Now, only you are editing this inside of your own Canva account. Okay. I believe you have to already be logged into Canva when you click this link in order to be able to get access to all of these things. Okay. Now, I don't have time to do a full Canva tutorial, but it is extremely easy to use. And there are tons of Canva tutorials actually on the actual, like everywhere. Okay. On Canva and their help area and on YouTube and like in a million other places. Okay. So now let me share this other strategy with you. Okay. Oh, that's a great idea. Yep. So if you do videos or specific photos with your sponsors, you could use this. And listen, you do not have to use my template. I am not, there's no anything special about the template. I just wanted to make it easy for you so that you could just do it right away. So you didn't have to be like, what am I going to put on here? How do I get that circle thing? How do I do that? I just wanted to give you something that'd be easy that you could just get started with so that you don't have to delay. Cause I know some of you are competing in just a few weeks. So, but you make up whatever you want. you could do this in any way you want. If you want to share your videos or store or other things, photos, whatever, that's great too. What the strategy is, y'all know, I am all of everything I do is strategical. Everything that I do, it's like, we're not doing it if it makes no sense to do it. Okay. The strategy behind this is it's something that you can post every single day. Doing it once isn't enough because not everybody's going to see that story. Even the person who you're tagging isn't probably going to see that story. They got a million things going on today. You posted today, they missed it. 24 hours goes by, 4 days go by. They look at the thing and they're like, oh, so-and-so tagged me 4 days ago. They can't see it. It disappears. So you have to be consistent. Okay. That's why these graphics can help, because it can make it easy. Okay. But you could do the same thing. You could post the same videos, you could put whatever every single day and tag them. Okay. Do not just be posting this. You got to tag them. When you tag them, they get alerted, and in their DMs, they have a perfect purple button that says add to my story. So if y'all were to post something as soon as we get off this call, I'm going to blow up on my Instagram and I'm gonna be like, oh, wow, this is so cool. And I'll just be like, add to story, add to story, add to story, add. That's what you want. You want people to be promoted. Now, how do you manage it when you don't have actual sponsors? Some of you, I know you don't have an actual specific sponsor. Like you're like, okay, so how do I do this? Like no one's my sponsor. This is stupid. It's not. This is how you get sponsors. Okay. It's likely that there have been people along your journey that have helped you as you've gone through this. The specific way that I have worded this, as you're looking at this template that I've created, it's just a thank you post. It doesn't even say for being my sponsor, although it could. If they are an actual sponsor, then I would highly recommend that. But you could just say, I am so grateful for all that you've done to help me as I compete for such and such title. So it's purposefully written so that for those of you who don't have a specific sponsor, you don't have to say, thank you for being my sponsor. You could just say, hey, thank you so much for all of the help you've given me along the way. If you have met somebody who, let's say that you have a regular hairdresser and you go and see your hairdresser every 5 to 8 weeks, that's a hairdresser who's probably helped you along the way. Wouldn't she love to be tagged on your social media? Like, yes, I do her hair. That would be great. She would probably love that. Even if she's not a sponsor, she's probably done some stuff to help you along the way. Maybe there was a certain dress store that you got your gown at. Even if it was not a sponsored gown, tag them, because they would love to share that out. And not only is it going to help your judges when they come, maybe they're going to come to your profile today. Maybe they're coming to your profile next week. They're probably not going to visit your profile more than once. They're going to just get your paperwork on the day they sit down to read everybody's paperwork, and they're going to start scrolling, and they're going to read those 3 pinned posts. They're going to scan your highlights real quick, and they're going to open your stories. And on that day that they click to read your stories, they're going to see, thank you so much. Thank you so much, so-and-so. Thank you so much, so-and-so. Thank you so much, so-and-so. Okay. Even if these are not, now you're not trying to pretend that they're your sponsors, thank you so much for that bothers me. I don't ever sponsor individual contestants because it wouldn't be fair. I only sponsor organizations like this. So if an individual, which this has happened to me before, an individual has been like, I am personally sponsored by Win a Pageant. And I'm like, no, you're not. That's going to get confusing. I'm not going to reshare that. So when you're sharing things out, you have to make it really attractive for whomever you're tagging in it to want to reshare it. Okay. So truly be grateful. Share if it's something specific. Like, I love how every time I interact with you, I learn something new, or I've been changed. I've been transformed by this one thing that you said that one time, and I'm telling you, you will find when you start having this attitude of gratitude, you will find your preacher is going to say something on Sunday that's going to change the way you approach your pageantry. And you're going to be like, I'm making a post for the preacher. And now next thing you know, preacher's getting, thank you so much for that word you gave on Sunday. I'm so grateful to be in your congregation and to be led by you. That's the kind of stuff I'm saying. So when you do that, and somebody else sees that post on your pastor's thing, now they're like, oh, wow, how do I get a shout out? I need some pageant girl running around shouting me out on her Instagram. How do I get that? And if I am somebody who sells earrings or who has a makeup line or who is a hairdresser or something, I might just reach out to you. I promise, this is how my clients have been doing this. Then they get other people reaching out to them and saying, hi, I'd love to help you with your pageant. Do you accept sponsors? You might even create, in fact, this is a great idea. You might even create in your story sandwich as you go through the series. I would have one at the beginning. Remember, we're talking about a sandwich here. At the beginning, you could say, I just want to give gratitude to my sponsors and friends who have helped me in my pageant journey. And then maybe you even label the ones that are sponsors. That's fine too. You go through, you thank them all. At the very end, I'm always looking for sponsors for my pageant. If you're looking to connect, please DM me. And that could be, and every single day, boom, ba-da-da-da-da-da, boom. And tomorrow, boom, ba-da-da-da-da-da, boom. Because over and over and over and over is what people are attracted to. Okay. That's what people are like, oh, somebody that has you will hear from the most interesting people. I've gotten reached out to for all types. Early on in my career, I was an ambassador for a fitness backpack company. And they found me through a similar way. I was giving gratitude to other pageant sponsors, and they were like, hey, I own backpacks for fitness people. And at the time, my platform was surrounding fitness. And so they were like, is this something that you might be interested in promoting? I'm like, heck yeah. They're like, we'll give you a free bag. I'm like, sounds great. Give me a bag. Like, I'll add you to my story series, So it's like, that's how you can get in to gather more sponsors. People do not want to sponsor somebody when there's nothing in it for them, unless they're your uncle. My uncle sponsored me for years because there was nothing in it for him. I had no clue what I was doing. I was just like, hey, uncle, like I'm getting paid again. He's like, okay, here's $50. Like, thanks. That's what we're talking about, is giving gratitude to people, true gratitude, sharing it out, and really helping it to catch on. Okay. Now, this is not something that you're going to do 2 weeks before your pageant and expect anything to happen. It's too close. This is something you need to start doing, like I said, 5 to 8 weeks before your pageant. And you can always add people to the mix. If there's someone else that joins, great. You go into your template, you add them in, you change off some of the things so that it sounds really authentic, move it around a little, make it fancy, however you want, and then start sharing it.